Hey, what's up, guys? So as you can see, I'm 1-1,
Good job.
and let's take a look at the stats on my opponent. I'm going against Maviop, and I'm pretty sure I battled Maviop once, but I'm wondering if we battled twice before. So this will be interesting to see how this goes. So he's 70 mil and almost 3.6 mil STP, so he's pretty tall. And here are my stats. This is what I'm running on defense. So it is a change from yesterday and the day before. I like the idea of the Mercs with Black Knight in one. We'll see if that causes some trouble. And full Spider Society in 2. So we'll see how that goes. Because Noir, I double checked. Noir does get bleeds on his special and his ult, so that could be something. I do like just the efficiency kill on the Rogue with the XTX in 3. Doing out of time dorm, we'll see if that can be an efficiency killer. And so I'm running full Superior 6 with Vulture in here, so we'll see if that can cause some problems for efficiency and out of time Quicksilver, or out of time Quicksilver in 6 and the Superior 6 in 5. So my opponent is running the Mercs with Dorm. This will be interesting because I've not seen that. Maybe I can see if they on the counter sheet, if they have some videos, I can get an idea of what to do here. But I'm going to go in with Scroll New Warriors. I think that's my best shot on 1. And with 2, his Affinity Watch is not real big. He's got a big Quicksilver, so I'm going to go in with Tangle Web, Eternals, and Kestrel. It works everywhere else, especially in 6, so it should work here. He does have a big XTX in Rogue, but I'm still going to try the Masters of Evil, just straight Masters of Evil on this. So in room 4, we're going to try Hive Mind with APOC. And then what was used on me when I had Hive Mind Scroll, I'm going to try it and see how it goes. And that's Cabal, Lizard, and Doom. So we'll see if that works. And then Spider Society, Secret Defenders does work, but I think it's got to be the full Secret Defenders. I saw that on the spreadsheet, and then earlier today, Stone Avengers sent me a clip showing that they win, and he beat them in 4. Or on the spreadsheet, they were beating in 4. I'm not sure what room he beat them in. But either way it goes, it's a chance they can win. So we're going to try that, see how that goes, and hope for the one shot. So before going in, I was a little concerned about the ISOs and positioning order, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. So I go in, and I'm thinking hit Dorm just to get things started. But I'm not sure because I'm taking a look at Old Man Logan. So I go in on Dorm, and then I switch over to Dakin because I'm thinking that'll be a good move to hit all 3. Now, I know he's going to revive, and the thing I was worried about is like, hey, can we get him down before Panda Pool starts to taunt? And I was being greedy, so I went down the middle again on Dakin. I got rid of Dakin in Dorm, but what happens is now Panda Pool taunts. And the big thing with Panda Pool and Deadpool is they're actually really good on this team, and they're kind of hard to beat. So once those two get going, it takes a minute to even try to get back over to Old Man Logan. And what you'll see here is the damage that he does. So there's a key mistake here in not just going straight for Old Man Logan, getting him out twice, and making sure you can have him off the board no matter what. I figured the best thing to do is go back in and try it again, because this team can definitely get the job done with the mindset of focusing on Old Man Logan. So you can see I started off with Gwenpool's Old Man Logan. And then I said, well, stick with the new plan and then do Firestar on Old Man Logan. You see he dies. Now, that probably won't happen once these more guys have 5 and 6 yellow on them. But going in now, just straight on Old Man Logan with everything seems to be the plan. And even here I was considering it. I said, no, let's go ahead and try this. And I was able to get Dakin out. So Dakin's gone. And that's just because he's low. Target back to Old Man Logan with the cloak ult. And I think that is really what set things up, because you can see the blind on Old Man Logan. You see the damage done to him. And now it enables me to have a shot, a much better chance, and better positioning. So from this point, it's just more about do some damage on Panda Pool and Deadpool so you can get back over to Old Man Logan. But I'm really just waiting on Scroll's ult, because I think that's the game saver at this stage. And once again, when Old Man Logan is much bigger and stronger, I'm not quite sure how we'll have to go about making this work. But this team has potential, so there may be a way. And it may not. It may just have to be straight Cabal. But Scroll here does enough damage to the whole team to where the new Warriors can take over and get the job done. So Tangleweb Eternals with Kestrel counter is really good. I think we just have to be careful just in case we need Pegasus to clean something up. And perhaps Big Time will work with this team. It's something to think about down the line. But since I'd already dropped the room, I said I don't want to experiment again. Let me just go in with this. It's a huge punch down, so I know I'm going to clear it. But the main thing is, can I try something a little different to see if the efficiency could be better? So this fight here is just really all about setting things up so that when APOC takes his turn, he gets his ult, and then I'm able to use his Falcon Punch to take out Black Knight. Pretty much everything else is really an attempt to get more speed bar to the team so they don't take a lot of damage. this counter was used on me by my opponent when I had this exact same team in room 5. And I was like, well, this is going to be my best bet. Just try this out because it balances out my roster. And to my surprise, it worked really well. I thought it would be decent. His team had taken quite a bit of damage, so I was concerned. And maybe he played it differently, maybe he didn't. And just maybe my team is stronger than his, who knows. But as you see here, the normal sequences of how most people go about attacking this team just went extremely well. Scroll never took a turn, and by that time there was only 3 hive mind left, and the focus was about the Red Goblin. He did revive the Gwenum, but the focus is about Red Goblin, try to get him out of there, and I still have my full team. And so it's like, well, and I don't even know if anybody's revived yet. I don't think Doom got killed. So I'm just kind of going through the gameplay. The stages take place because it's almost set up perfectly to take them out as the turns come up, especially Stunning Carnage and then putting the special from Namor on to the Red Goblin. So after watching Stoned Avengers video, and then I watched the Sears video too, Secret Defenders taking out the Spider Society, it's clear this is a great counter, with the key thing being Strange's special, because he just flips all those buffs that they have. And so had I used this yesterday, I'm really interested to see how, or would like to know how that fight would have changed. But looking at the fight here, you can see how well it goes, and it's just about position and targeting when I'm seeing the negative buffs landed on certain tunes and then just going to another tune just to make sure there's spread out damage, and so that I can make sure that I'm not taking as much damage from them, or don't let them really ignite. Most likely this will play differently with different position orders and different varying powers on the tunes. But overall, I think this is a great counter. And I like the positioning that Desir used with Strange next to Hardlight. And that's something I hadn't thought about. So I think that's key when you set this team up to go against the Spider Society. Since this Room 3 is no comparison to the Room 3 we saw before, Masters of Evil is a great counter on the Extreme Rogue. The mistake I made, and it was purely by accident, I thought I had targeted Rogue, because what you'd like to do is put that first move onto the Rogue so that you don't get stuck behind her taunt. So I was a little nervous, but as playing it out, it's like, well, they don't have the room buffs, and Masters of Evil is so strong. And so you'll just see how it plays. I'm behind Rogue's taunt for a while, and I'm able to get over to Forge. And what'll happen is this probably takes 3 or 4 more turns, which can be very damaging when you're really looking at the efficiency. But at the end of the day, the Masters of Evil, the full team, is a very good counter for what you're going to see in here when you see the Rogue and the Extreme. So definitely this was a good learning experience going into this team. I'm glad I replayed it. It gives me an idea of how to go about beating it, as well as all these teams are getting bigger and stronger, these newer teams coming out. We're going to have to seriously consider at least taking the main trio for New Warriors to G19 to keep them relevant. And it may be a hard pill to swallow, but I don't think that they're going to be as effective with more of these new teams coming out, even at G18 level 100, unless they have some red gear on them. And so definitely like this counter, as well as the Masters of Evil with Big Time. So those are just two very safe, effective counters, no matter where you're going to see the Infinity Watch with Quicksilver. As well as maybe down the line, instead of having the Kestrel in there, I'll try the Big Time Spider-Man. I think that should work pretty well. This is 83.64, so this is a better score, and that's the kind of score I was looking for. So it's a better score than what I usually get, and that helps in the long run. And so here, like I said, I cost myself a few points, maybe 2 or 3, because I accidentally targeted the Nightcrawler. I thought I had pressed the Rogue, and then here I go in, and it's like, oh, no, I didn't. But, anyway, when you go in, the main thing you want to try to do is you just want to try to go ahead and stun that Rogue, and then that'll make it easier to get to the Forge. And so this counter is a really good counter. I'm not sure that we can avoid the damage that's going to be done, because Black Knight is just going to keep on hitting them. But I do think that even with a stronger Black Knight, this is going to work. Of course, as our hive minds get stronger as well, my goal is to take the entire team really to 2 diamonds. So this team should do much better. And then, of course, down the line, we'll probably start putting red gear on, like Red Goblin and Void Knight. So they should be pretty good for us going forward for a while in the Cosmic Crucible seasons to come. Now this counter went way better than expected. The score is an average score. When you look at 83.60 or 83.61, that's pretty average. But the fact that they took their health is on full just goes to show that you can just kind of save this into your roster. And if you do see a Hive Mind scroll, which I'm going to probably end up using something similar to this with if I were to use the scroll Superior 6, the switch would probably be to put APOC in. But this is probably going to be a key counter for Room 5, because the villain's the villains, and so you're going to get the perks. If your members do die, they will be revived. And so this was a delightful surprise after yesterday going in with Kestrel, when I meant to go in with Nova, and I should have just gone in with Doctor Strange. And I was thinking about would his buffs work, would they flip, but there's just so much fear factor that's been built up about Spider Society that I think it just is getting blown out of proportion. And so just keep that in mind. I think the Seer did 100k punch down, and so I'm very comfortable even if I see a 3 mil Spider Society, I'll go in and still use the same team. Now, of course, I did take my Doctor Strange to G18, but Stone Avengers went in. He has a G16 Doctor Strange, so it's going to work. His main goal is just get a special out the way, and that's all he needs to do. And once those negative buffs are flipped, it doesn't appear to be that it's going to matter how strong the Spider Society is. It's just going to fall apart. So my opponent, he took his time getting his attacks in, but he pulled it out. He won by 10 points here, or 8 points. He won by 8 points. So just want to go through some of the rooms here. We'll look at room 1, and it was a close one for him. But let's just see if it's worth having Black Knight with the mercs here. Yeah, so it looks like the problem is Old Man Logan, just without the revive, he never got a chance to take a turn, so he was really no threat to them. So this is not something I think that I'm going to end up trying to run again. So he used Superior 6 and Vulture on 2, and I'm sure Lizard is a big part of why this counter works so well. But let's just take a quick look and see how this goes. And so it appears my opponent is used to using Masters of Evil, and he probably just used APOC to get better efficiency or to ensure higher efficiency. But let's just take a look and see how this one goes. So my out-of-time dorm was the only room that seemed to trip him up, and maybe that's something I need to keep in mind in going forward for the next week. And we've seen this before, but let's just take a look and see how this one goes. I've been hearing Secret Defenders does well against the Superior 6 when there's no lizard in there. I'm sure he used Doom because of the Room 5 rules and just to ensure better efficiency. But let's just take a look and see how this goes. So I've been curious to see how the Eternals Tangle Web with Big Time would work. And the efficiency is a bit lower than what I would like to see. So let's see how this plays out, because it could be a good way to determine if it's better to use Kestrel here than the Big Time Spider-Man. once again, guys, another battle where a great deal was learned from my opponent, and definitely going to make some key changes going into next week. Okay, guys, chat later.